Why did the sun go to school? Because it wanted to get a little brighter before the big eclipse. Oh, we do love a good chuckle, don't we? Now, let's get serious for a moment. A solar eclipse in its simplest form is a celestial game of hide and seek, where the moon, the master of disguise, covers up the sun, leaving us in a temporary twilight. Intriguing, isn't it? Now that we've got the giggles out of the way, let's dive into the world of solar eclipses, shall we? Ever played hide and seek? Well, the sun and moon play it too, and they call it an eclipse. Now, before you start imagining the sun and moon darting behind celestial lampposts or crouching behind cosmic dustbins, let's clarify what we mean. There are three types of solar eclipses: total, partial, and annular, and each one is a different level of this cosmic game of hide and seek. First, let's talk about the total eclipse. This is when the moon, acting like a crafty little sibling, completely blocks the sun, plunging the earth into a brief, eerie darkness. It's the moon saying, "Gotcha! You're it!" to the sun. Next up, we have the partial eclipse. This is when the moon only covers a part of the sun. It's like the moon got distracted mid-game and wandered off, leaving the sun partially exposed. Imagine peeking through your fingers during a game of hide and seek, and you've got the idea. Lastly, we've got the annular eclipse. This one's a bit tricky. It happens when the moon is at its farthest point from Earth in its orbit and appears smaller in the sky. So when the moon tries to cover the sun, it leaves a bright, fiery ring visible. It's like the moon hiding behind a narrow tree and failing to cover its glowing behind. So you see, eclipses are just the sun and moon's way of keeping things exciting in the sky. It's their cosmic game of hide and seek. And much like when we play, sometimes the sun hides completely, sometimes it peeks out a bit, and sometimes it leaves a blazing ring of fire for us to marvel at. And that's how our celestial buddies play hide and seek. Now onto some eclipse etiquette. Did you know staring at an eclipse is like staring at your mother-in-law? Too much can be harmful. Now let's chat about some essential safety measures to take when you're planning to observe a solar eclipse. It's a bit like preparing for a date with a vampire. You need protection. Firstly, never look directly at the sun during an eclipse. It's a bit like trying to outstare a lion. It won't end well. You need proper solar viewing glasses, not sunglasses, not 3D movie glasses, not beer goggles. Real solar viewing glasses. They're like the VIP pass to your own private viewing of the sun's performance. Next, if you fancy yourself a bit of a photographer, don't point your camera, phone or telescope at the sun without a solar filter. It's like trying to take a snapshot of a ghost. Your equipment might not survive the experience. Also, remember to give your eyes regular breaks during the eclipse. It's like binge-watching your favorite show. You need to blink, look away, and maybe even step outside for some fresh air. Lastly, if you're viewing the eclipse with kids, keep a close eye on them. It's like herding cats at a laser pointer convention. You need to ensure they're following the rules and not staring directly at the sun. Remember, safety first. Even the sun doesn't like being stared at without protection. Eclipses have been around longer than the oldest joke in the book. Let's take a journey back to the year 1750 when an eclipse known as Halley's eclipse swept across Europe. Edmund Halley, the chap who predicted it, didn't even live to see his prediction come true. Talk about a punchline delivered too late. Now, let's fast forward to the 1878 eclipse. The Wild West in America was wilder than usual when scientists from across the country rushed to observe this celestial spectacle. Some even dodged bullets from outlaws. Imagine that, risking your neck for a glimpse of the sun playing peekaboo. Next stop, the 20th century. During the 1919 eclipse, a certain Sir Arthur Eddington confirmed Einstein's theory of general relativity. Einstein went from being an obscure physicist to a global celebrity overnight. An eclipse making someone famous, who would have thought? Now, let's not forget the total solar eclipse of 1999, the last of the millennium. Europe was gripped by eclipse fever, and some were convinced it was a sign of the apocalypse. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. Of course, we couldn't skip the Great American Eclipse of 2017. Millions of people across the United States donned their snazzy solar glasses to witness the first total solar eclipse visible from the contiguous United States in nearly 4 decades. It was a sight to behold. We've had eclipses that have confirmed scientific theories, created celebrities, and even caused panic. They've been observed by geniuses, adventurers, and everyday folks alike. Eclipses, in a way, are like a universal theatre show. They're free, they're spectacular, and they have a knack for leaving the audience in awe. So as you can see, eclipses have been causing a stir since, well, forever. Speaking of stirring things up, have you heard about the upcoming solar eclipse? Yes, my friends, the Surya Grahan of 2024 is right around the corner. Isn't that just a spicy bit of news to perk up your day? Now let's delve into the details. The cosmic ballet is set to perform its most dramatic dance on the 8th of April. This time around, we're in for a full solar eclipse, the grandest of them all. The moon, in its audacious glory, will momentarily steal the limelight from the sun, casting an ephemeral shadow over certain parts of the globe. But where exactly can you witness this grand celestial performance? The path of totality, where the sun will be completely obscured by the moon, will pass over several regions in North America, the Pacific, and Asia. So, if you find yourself in these parts of the world, you're in for a rare treat. Now, hold on to your hats, because this isn't just any eclipse. This one's known as a hybrid eclipse. Sounds intriguing, doesn't it? A hybrid eclipse is a rare phenomenon where the eclipse appears as an annular eclipse in some locations and a total eclipse in others. It's like getting two for the price of one. And the cherry on top, this eclipse will last a whopping 4 minutes and 28 seconds. That's right, over 4 minutes of the sun playing peekaboo with the moon. But before you rush off to book your plane tickets, remember, safety first. Don't forget your eclipse glasses to protect your eyes from the sun's intense rays during the event. So there you have it, a sneak peek into the celestial extravaganza that awaits us in 2024. A hybrid eclipse, the moon's grand shadow dance, and a chance to witness one of the universe's most stunning spectacles. Mark your calendars, folks, you won't want to miss this spectacle. Well, we've had quite a journey, haven't we? We've been through the cosmic dance of the sun and moon, learned some intriguing eclipse do's and don'ts, and even taken a trip down memory lane with some famous eclipses from yesteryears. Let's do a quick recap, shall we? Our celestial game of hide-and-seek began with a bit of a tease about the sun's antics. Remember, the sun isn't really hiding, it's just being a bit coy, letting the moon steal the limelight for a brief moment. A solar eclipse, or as we've learned, Surya Grahan, is really just the moon photobombing the sun's selfie moment. Then we delved into the do's and don'ts of eclipse viewing. Yes, it's a celestial spectacle, but it's not an invitation to stare directly at the sun. That's a bit like trying to win a staring contest with a lighthouse. Always use your eclipse glasses or a pinhole projector if you're feeling a bit crafty. We also took a trip through history, remembering some of the most famous eclipses. Eclipses have been causing a stir since time immemorial, from the ancient Chinese dragon myth to Einstein's theory of relativity. It's not every day that the heavens align to give us such a dramatic show. Finally, we look to the future, to the upcoming Surya Grahan in 2024. Mark your calendars and prepare your viewing parties, because it's going to be a grand show. So there we have it, a whirlwind tour of the wonderful world of eclipses. We've laughed, we've learned, and hopefully we're all a bit more prepared for the next celestial hide-and-seek. And remember, the next time the sun and moon play hide-and-seek, make sure you're ready. With your eclipse glasses, of course.